This video is about packaging your work when you're done. Because we do this thing called packaging because what we need to do is include a lot of different files with our InDesign file. Not just the images, as we've already learned, but actually, when you think about it, your fonts actually need to be given, because if you're sending it to the printer, they need to be able to have access to those fonts. You can't count them on them having access to them. And so the way we do this is when we're done and we want to send it there, we go to File, Package. And so we hit Package, and it's really simple here. We just kind of look at what's in here. We don't really need to do anything. Now, some things you do have to see. There's an exclamation point, and why it's telling me because the image that's in here is using the RGB color space. So obviously, if I'm sending this to a printer, I should have went into Photoshop and changed it into a CMYK so that I know that it's okay for printing. Not a big deal for us right now. So I'm going to click Package, and this will ask, well, where do you want it? And so what it's going to do is it's going to create a folder. You say, yes, you want to copy all the linked graphics, the fonts. See, it doesn't do ones, certain ones it won't copy. Update the graphic links, absolutely, because, it needs to be pointing at those new ones. And these ones we really don't need to deal with. This right here is something you can look at, is the PDF preset. And so by default, it will give you a small PDF, right? So images will be downsampled to 72 dpi, right? Not print size, but screen sized. But you can change it to something like press quality or high quality print if you want it the absolute best version of a PDF. But it's okay, I'll just leave it at small file size. Hit Package. Any last warnings? So here you see the transparency, blend space, blah, 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 fine, whatever. Hits it, and so where it's saved it is actually a new folder inside that original folder. And so now you see you have, we have our PDF, we have our InDesign file, we have this file, don't worry about it, just leave it there. Any images go in this links area, and the fonts obviously go in here, right? And it just takes the version of the font that you used. And so once we have that, right, we should compress that, especially when you're going to be handing this in on Icon, right? You should control click on it and say compress project 1, and then this is what you hand into Icon, right? This zipped file. So that is packaging. You could actually output just a PDF if you wanted it without it. You could just go here to Adobe PDF presets and say, oh, give me a high quality print, and say save. Now in this you'll have some options. You can do things like how you compress the images. If you have spreads, you want to make sure you switch that to spreads instead of pages, because then it will just be individual pages instead of seeing the spreads that you made. What else can you do here? I think marks and bleeds is the most important. So if this was like something you expected to send to a printer, you'd want to have all the printer's marks and use the bleed and bleed settings. You don't really need the slug unless you used it. I don't think anyone's going to ever use it here. And then the rest of that's fine. And then you would just hit export, right? And then you would have wherever I just told it to save, which is probably right here. So now I noticed that it has these printer marks, and so these are trim marks. These are kind of the things to get the color right, and that's that. So that is what you need to know in Bootcamp 1 of InDesign. I couldn't phased out for a second. Yeah, that's InDesign for you.